Honestly guys, before I tried Starlight Billy, who is a new character in Zenless Zone Zero version 2.8, I wasn't really interested in this character because I thought he was just a character who only relied on cool animations. But after trying Starlight Billy, my opinion has now completely changed. From understanding this character to actually liking the gameplay he offers. And now I understand why there are so many players who are pretty excited about him. And without dragging this out any longer, I'm Hoyostation, and now let's start my first impression of Starlight Billy in version 2.8. Let's do this. Okay, first of all, maybe I will tell you a little about my expectations for Starlight Billy during the beta version. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I actually didn't have any expectations at all for this character. Because previously I had the opinion that Starlight Billy was just a character that had simply been remade from the old version using new animations, a new style, and yeah, basically deep down I thought I wouldn't be interested in pulling this character. In fact, in version 2.8, I actually decided to pull Promea and her signature W engine instead of Starlight Billy, because I thought I needed an Bloom Anomaly character more, one that had the possibility of becoming even stronger with the arrival of Velina in version 3.0, who has a new attribute that can also produce a bloom from the cyclone attacks she creates. And the strongest reason I didn't expect much from this character is because there are already so many Rapture DPS characters spread across version 2, like Yixuan, Yidari, Banyue, Manato, and lastly Starlight Billy. And honestly, because right now I already have two Rapture characters that I've fully built, namely Yixuan and Manato, I kind of felt satisfied having other Rapture characters in my team and planned to just stick with these characters. But you know what? My expectations turned out to be completely wrong. And Starlight Billy is way cooler than what I originally thought. Why? Because after I tested all kinds of things about this character, I found several things that I honestly didn't expect before. First, let's talk about the gameplay. One basic thing you will experience when using this character is that the mechanics are somewhat similar to Yidari, who plays around HP consumptions, meaning your HP will constantly go up and down when using this character. Honestly, it feels a little nerve-wracking because you're afraid of getting KO'd while fighting enemies. But don't worry, Starlight Billy actually has an effect that can reduce the damage taken when our HP is low, so at least it's not that easy for him to lose in battle. On top of that, he has a skill that can restore his own HP without needing help from teammates, so it feels pretty nice if you don't have a healer in your account yet. You could say that using Starlight Billy is actually pretty simple and not complicated at all compared to some other characters in this game. So, for those of you who struggle with memorizing character mechanics, you probably won't have much difficulty remembering Starlight Billy's gameplay. Basically, when using Starlight Billy, you only need to remember a few skills, such as Special Attack Draft Suppression. This skill is basically the type of skill you need to activate regularly at all times. The way to activate it is simply by pressing Special Attack, and he will crash his motorcycle into enemies. The effect of this Special Attack is to activate his buff effect, which can provide an extremely high increase to critical damage. So you could say that if you don't use this skill, your damage output won't be maximized, so you have to keep using it constantly. Now what's cool about this skill, guys, is that we can use this skill to block enemy attacks. So when enemies attack and we use this special attack, the enemy's attack can be blocked and we will launch an even stronger attack called EX Special Attack Cool Wheelie. You just have to remember that this special attack will continuously drain your HP, so don't use it too often. For the next skill that you need to remember, there's EX Special Attack Rocking Footwork. Why do you need to remember this skill? Because this skill is the only skill capable of restoring HP without relying on other characters. Well, so you could say that Starlight Billy is quite a self-sufficient character. And in my opinion, the way to activate it is also really easy. Just hold the special attack button while you have enough energy. Easy, right? And for the last skill, the one you will probably use most often, there's basic attack full throttle Starlight. You can only use this when your determination bar reaches a certain value. This skill attacks enemies while riding a motorcycle and deals damage through the exhaust, which honestly hits really hard. In fact, I was pretty surprised by the damage output and also the score I got, because I only used M0S1 when trying Starlight Billy. Second, a lot of people think Starlight Billy's animations are too flashy and take too much animation time, making his damage output less optimal. Well, honestly I thought the same thing at first. But even though his kit looks a bit too flashy, once you've played this character for around 10 to 15 minutes, you will probably get more used to the animations. Because even though the animations look slightly over the top, the animation duration actually isn't long. So this shouldn't really affect the damage output produced by Starlight Billy. Third, this is actually pretty interesting. For some reason, this character is surprisingly easy to build. Unlike Romea, who actually needs the new disk drive released in version 2.8 called Notes from the Chained, Starlight Billy only needs older disk drive like Unique Tales or Branch and Blade Song. Which means if you've played this game for a long time, these types of disk drives should already be piled up in your inventory. On top of that, because I feel Starlight Billy's core mechanics are similar to other characters like Yixuan for example, you can also swap disk drives with other characters if you don't have suitable disk drives. So yeah, you don't really need to farm again specifically for Starlight Billy. Not only the disk drives, but in my opinion, his W engine is also pretty friendly for free-to-play players or new players, because I've seen several W engines that are still good to use, such as Grill-O-Wisp or Radio Wave Journey. Actually, Puzzle Sphere can also work, but unfortunately, this W engine gives attack, while Rapture characters don't need attack to deal damage output. Besides talking about the positive aspect of this character, I actually have several concerns about him. Why though? Well, you know that Rapture characters don't really have team combinations as flexible as other characters that have many options. Because some buffs provided by certain characters, such as attack increases, are useless for Rapture characters. So right now, the team options for Starlight Billy are extremely limited. Back during beta testing, I was already comfortable using the lineup of Starlight Billy, Dialane, and lastly Lucia, which in my opinion had already become the top team for Starlight Billy. Now, unfortunately, free-to-play team compositions for Starlight Billy are actually very limited. So, if you just started playing this game, you might have a little trouble finding a suitable team for Starlight Billy. But if I had to choose, maybe the lineup of Starlight Billy, Panyenhu, and Pulchra would be the best, because Panyenhu can provide additional sheer force, while Pulchra acts as a physical stunner to make enemies enter the stunned state faster. Overall, this team composition is pretty decent, although for some people it might feel a little lacking in terms of seamless gameplay. Who will like Starlight Billy? Well, in my opinion, this character offers a lot of positive things that you will definitely like, from his simple gameplay, cool and unique animations, easy builds, and even free-to-play options that in my opinion are very accessible. All of this makes him an attractive character to pull. Oh yeah, but speaking about version 3.0, Starlight Billy is also really good when combined with Norma, who will become a stunner for Rapture teams. So if you currently don't have a stunner for your Rapture team, maybe you can start by pulling Starlight Billy first in this version. Okay, in this final section, I'm going to summarize everything I've talked about from the beginning regarding Starlight Billy. Overall, Starlight Billy is a really interesting character. His high damage, cool animations, easy and affordable builds, along with team options that are also available for free-to-play players, will become a unique attraction for this character. After playing this character for around 30 minutes, I feel like this character is actually really fun to play. Especially if you're getting bored of playing characters whose movements feel repetitive. Starlight Billy will definitely become the solution. On top of that, his damage output is honestly no joke. I was able to clear Deadly Assault easily and get a score above 30,000 using only M0S1, which is basically the standard setup used by most players. I Personally recommend pulling this character if you're planning to build a physical Rapture team, especially if you already have several key agents for Starlight Billy, such as Dylene and Lucia. Norma, who will be released in version 3.0, is also pretty good as a replacement for Dylene if you don't currently have her. So you could say that Starlight Billy's future is still pretty good and should remain relevant throughout upcoming version 3 updates. Okay guys, maybe that's all for now. What do you think about Starlight Billy? Please leave any comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are no less cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.